All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Uharakak Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the elder bishops, and the elders of the great millstone. And peace and salutations to the hopeful elect out here toiling in his truth. I'm Pathaka Mathjim as Dallas, and I'm just coming back at you with a really quick hit lesson. Shouldn't be anything that's going to be too long. We've done these lessons before, but just through the spirit, a few scriptures proving the people in the land are not the people of the Lord, man. You know what I'm saying? And just a few points, prophecy, man. You know what I'm saying? Everything is about the prophecies. Revelations 19:10, Yahweh Shah, the spirit of prophecy. Sirach 39:1, we should be occupied in prophecy. 2nd Ezra 15:1, the Lord says, speaking to the ears of his people, the words of prophecy. And 1 Peter 1 and verse 19, it says we have a more sure word of prophecy. So it's all about the prophecies. Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, those visions is going into the prophecies, man. Isaiah 34, it says no one of these shall fail. Yeah, it's talking about the prophecies. You know what I'm saying? So everything is about prophecy, man. If you're not dealing with prophecy, the Lord is not dealing with you. So I'm just going to bring out a series of scriptures just proving that those people in the land are not the people of the Lord, man. They're not the chosen line. They don't line up with the prophecies. It's that simple, man. So we're just going to get right into it, man. So without any further ado, it's Isaiah chapter 14. And I'm going to start at the top and read a few verses down. And it reads from verse 1. It says, for Yahweh Shem Shai will have mercy on Jacob, which Jacob, represents the nation of Israel. Our forefather Jacob wrestled with the angel, and won, man. You know what I'm saying? So his name was changed to Israel. You know what I'm saying? So it says, for the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, which Israel and the sons of Israel. But Ban or Banyam, the sons. Ban is son, Banyam is plural. It makes it plural with a yum. Banyam, are the sons of Israel, man. You know what I'm saying? So when he chooses Jacob, he's choosing Israel, which are the sons, man. Everything goes down through the chosen line from Abraham to Isaac, from Isaac to Jacob, from Jacob to the 12 sons, man, the tribes. It says, for the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel. There it is, the nation of Israel, and set them, which the nation of Israel consists of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians of Negro descent. You make up the 12 no longer lost tribes of the nation of Israel. We know who we are in these times. We know who our enemies are in these times, which are all 17 other nations outside the nation of Israel, primarily the so-called self-proclaimed white man, woman, and child, who are the true biblical red Hebrew Edomites, man, of the Bible. They're not the people of the Lord. They're not the Israelites. It says, for the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Israel, going into the foreigners, the Israelite foreigners, those are Israelites as well. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel, all 12 tribes, it's the house, northern and southern kingdom. It says, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of Yahweh Shem Shai for servants and handmaids. So they're going to possess these nations in the land of the Lord, what's the land of the Lord? The land of Israel over there. Do you see these people lining up so far? There's several points in this that disproves these people as being the people. But they don't have any servants and handmaids, and the scriptures say at the very beginning, the Lord was going to set them in their own land. You know what I'm saying? Which, bro, they got over there by way of the Balfour Declaration. You know what I'm saying? So the Lord didn't do that, man. Verse 2, it says, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of Yahweh Shem Shai for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. Do you see? Did that happen to them? They weren't any captives. They weren't captives. They don't have oppressors. They're the ones that took the captives. They're the ones that's doing the oppressing, man. You know what I'm saying? So this doesn't line up with them. You know what I'm saying? It says, and it shall come to pass in the day that Yahweh Bashem Yahushai shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear and from the hard bondage wherein thou wast made to serve. They didn't serve any hard bondage, man. You know, again, they got it put over there in the land by way of the Balfour Declaration. It was given to them basically, you know, where they took it, but you know, they don't need any rest. Rest from what? They own everything, you know, they control everything. So they're not in any bondage, any hardcore bondage. They don't need rest, you know, they're not sorrowful, you know what I'm saying? Now they going through some things because these nations are tired of their asses, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, no, they're not fulfilling or these prophecies, man. It says, okay, that was the point. So, you know, yeah, they don't line up with that, man. You know what I'm saying? And real quick, as a matter of fact, let me do this real quick. I had typed in Google, you know, how many times Israel had engaged in war since becoming a state, you know. And this is what it said. It says, since its declaration of independence in May 1948, hey, the 48ers, small hatters, them baby hats, the state of Israel has fought various wars with its neighboring Arab states. It says two major Palestinian Arab uprisings known as the First Intifada and the Second Intifada, and a broad series of other armed engagements rooted in the Arab-Israeli conflict. So there it is. They're having conflicts, man. You know what I'm saying? They're engaging in an armed conflict, wars. You know what I'm saying? The scriptures say that Israel, which is another prophecy, Israel was going to dwell safely. If you're having to engage in armed conflicts and wars, then you're not dwelling safely, man. You know what I'm saying? Which is a direct conflict or contradiction of the scriptures, man. You know what I'm saying? So, as a matter of fact, the scriptures say that there wasn't going to be any war, any more war, man. So we'll get that. Let me get the first one real quick. You know, and as you can see, if you know, I didn't go into it, but it says a list of wars involving Israel. You know what I'm saying? That's not dwelling safely, man. You know what I'm saying? So real quick, let me go back to the scriptures. Let's get Ezekiel 34 and we're gonna drop down to verse 28, because again, they're supposed to be dwelling in safety if they're the people. This is Ezekiel 34 and 28. It says, and they shall no more be a prey to the heathen. They are the heathen, man. Wow. We're the prey to them, man. You know what I'm saying? So come on, bro. It says, and they shall no more be a prey to the heathen, neither shall the beast of the land devour them, but they shall dwell safely, and none shall make them afraid. Now, the only reason they are being made afraid is because people are tired of them, man. You know, and you got certain things that are happening to them. You know, people jumping out from behind cars, scaring the shit out of them. You know what I'm saying? Just, you know, but that's what they're trying to call, you know, them fulfilling prophecy, them going through, you know what I'm saying? Not, bro, you know, but they should be dwelling in safety, man, and none should be making them afraid, man. Instead, they're over there, got other people, you know, needing safety, man. You know, dropping bombs, shooting missiles, and you know, come on, man. They just shot missiles on Iran. You know, they're killing a lot. They're responsible for a lot of death. They're killing a lot of people over there right now as we speak. You know what I'm saying? So they don't line up with this prophecy, man. You know, if you're having armed engaged battles, war, then you're not dwelling safely, which the scriptures clearly say right here that they would get put in the land and dwell safely. They wouldn't have to fight any battles, any wars. But like I said, the scriptures say there was not going to be any more wars. You know, so let's get that real quick. It's further disproving them. This is Micah chapter 4 and verse 3. Micah 4 and 3. And by the way, Isaiah 2 and Micah 4, this chapter here is going into the kingdom of heaven being established in the earth, proving that this is not the kingdom and they're not the people, man, because they don't line up with this. There's no laws going forth out of Zion, like it says in previous verses up when you read up. You know, no one is going up to, no one is going there to learn the laws. If they were the people, the nations should be going to them to learn the ways of the Lord, man. You know what I'm saying? Instead, you got over there the Wailing Wall, Humping Wall, which is going into what's that? What's her name? Asherah, I think, or Shira or Asherah, which is a female goddess, a deity that's dealing with fertility, motherhood. You know what I'm saying? Nurturing. You know, so they over there having, you know, sex with a demon, a spirit, man. That's what that's all about, man. Wicked as hell. Where is that in the scriptures, man? You know what I'm saying? Through, man. Those people are over there, you know, putting babies' rods in their mouths and, you know, giving them herpes and stuff. And you know, you got the biggest Mo parade over there, you know, on the planet in Tel Aviv. They got kosher pork, kosher cigarettes. Yeah, come on, man. No, these are not the people of the Lord. The land is not bearing its fruit, you know, or it's not, you know, it's pretty much barren over there. They got to import grass and different trees and different things over there, which when the actual people over there, the Lord said he's going to beautify the land again. It's going to happen on its own. We're not going to have to import anything into trees and grass and stuff like that. No, the land is barren because they're not the people, man. But it says, this is Micah 4 and 3, and it says, and he shall judge among many people and rebuke strong nations afar off, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks, which are agriculture or farming equipment, man. So, and it's going to go on into it. It says, nation shall not lift up a sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. Boom. No more war, man. You know what I'm saying? So those weapons are going to become agriculture or farming instruments to farm the land, till the land, and do all the farming. And they ain't gonna be learning war. They're not gonna shit. Right now, they're doing exercises. They learning war like a mug right now. They learn doing exercises, different exercises, war tactics and different things. They're doing that right now, man. You know what I'm saying? Again, these just further disproving them as the people, man. But the scriptures clearly say they're not going to learn war anymore. There's not going to be any more war. And they're having war right now, man. They shot missiles on Iran just yesterday, man. You know what I'm saying? And Iran is talking about retaliating against that strike, man. You know, so come on, man. Stop, bro. These are not the people of the Lord, man. You know what I'm saying? So, real quick, as a matter of fact, the scriptures say, since I mentioned that ain't gonna be no more war, that the Israelites, if they were the people, there should be no more wars and they should be burning the weapons. That's what the scriptures say, you know. So real quick, let's get that real quick in Ezekiel, the 39th chapter, and we're gonna drop down to verse 9 and read 9 and 10. This is Ezekiel 39 and 9, and it reads, and they that dwell in the cities of Israel shall go forth and shall set on fire and burn the weapons. There it is, man. Both the shields and the bucklers, the bows and the arrows, and the hand staves, and the spears, and they shall burn them with fire 7 years, which is just a complete amount of time to get all the weapons destroyed. You know what I'm saying? However long that takes. 7 represents a complete number of years in this case, in this sense. It says, verse 10, it says, so that they shall take no wood out of the field, neither cut down any out of the forest, for they shall burn the weapons with fire, and they shall spoil those that spoiled them, and rob those that robbed them, saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushai power. There it is, man. You know, we're going to do what they did. It reminds me of what's that, Jeremiah 30 and 16, you know, for all they that spoil thee shall be a spoil. So yeah, all of these things are going to come back, man. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, they don't line up with this. There ain't no weapons being burned. Hell, they're using weapons right now. They're in armed combat right as we speak. You know what I'm saying? That's not what the true biblical Israelites, the true people of the Lord would be doing if they were the people put back, placed back in the land, So, yeah, it's not coming together, man. You know what I'm saying? And also the scriptures say, when you deal with prophecies that, the Lord was going to deliver his people. He was going to, all 12 tribes, not just they're claimed to be, the southern kingdom, man. So where's the northern kingdom? You know what I'm saying? Where's the northern kingdom? The southern kingdom, that's 3 of the tribes, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, which makes up the house of Judah. But where are the northern kingdom? The other 9 tribes, man, basically 9 to 10 tribes. I get it when they say that because, of course, some of the other tribes stayed, like, some of the northern kingdom stayed with the southern kingdom, and some of the southern kingdom went with the northern kingdom. So, and that's why I said the 10 tribes when you read that in the scriptures. I believe in Isaiah 40, is it? It's not Isaiah. I know it's in the book of Isaiah. But that explains what that's talking about. But, basically just dealing with the 12 tribes, you got the southern kingdom, which is Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. And then you have the other 9 tribes, which makes 12. You know what I'm saying? So, which is the northern kingdom, man, the Hispanics, the Latinos, the Native Americans, where are they at, man? Where are they at? So, hey, no, it's not lining up, man. But they would all come back together, all 12 tribes, and they would come together under King David, man, and Yahushua above King David, man. So where are they at? Where's Yahushua? Where's King David? So real quick, it's Ezekiel chapter 37. And we're going to jump down to verse 21 and read a few verses down. As a matter of fact, yeah, I started verse 21. This is Ezekiel 37 and verse 21, and it reads, "And say unto them, Thus saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushai power, Behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, whither they be gone, and will gather them on every side and bring them into their own land." So from all 4 corners of the earth, man, the nation of Israel is going to be gathered out of the places that the Lord scattered them, pursuant to Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, in verse 64, man. And how did that happen? When you read down to 68, it goes into it, going into Egypt by ship, slave ships, man, the transatlantic slave trade, man, which actually started in 1942. You know what I'm saying? To give proper understanding of that verse, man. You know what I'm saying? Which began with the northern kingdom. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it said he was going to gather them and bring them from every side, from all 4 corners of the earth, man. Matthew, the 24th chapter, and verse 31. And the Lord said he's going to gather his people from as a matter of fact, real quick. Let's get it real quick and we'll come back. It's Matthew chapter 24 and verse 31. It says, "And he shall send his angel," red letters, Yahushua is speaking, "and he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the 4 winds, from one end of heaven to the other." There it is. That's gathering them on every side, man. You know what I'm saying? So back in Ezekiel, the 37th chapter, and verse 21, "And say unto them, Thus saith the Lord," Ezekiel 37:21, "And say unto them, Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai power, Behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, whither they be gone, and will gather them on every side and bring them into their own land." So see, Yahushua is going to do that. The Lord is going to do it. Not a Balfour Declaration, bro, and making it a state. No, bro, stop, bro. So all of these prophecies, these scriptures, disprove them and prove that they're not the people. Verse 22, it says, "And I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountain of Israel," because there was a split after the death of King Solomon. There was a split. The nation was rent. The nation was split, and it became 2 separate nations, man, under Jeroboam and Rehoboam. You know what I'm saying? They don't account for these things, man. You know what I'm saying? So the Lord is going to bring them back as one nation, and I will make them one nation, all 12 tribes in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king shall be king, Salakia, and one king shall be king to them all, and they shall be King David, and they shall be no more two nations, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms anymore at all. So I, again, have to pose the question, where is the northern kingdom? Because pursuant to this prophecy, they should all be together in the land, brought back together as one nation, in the land under King David, which King David should be there, which Yahushua should be there, Come on, bro. Not lining up. So it says, verse 23, neither shall they defile themselves anymore with their idols, nor with their detestable things, nor with any of their transgressions, which I just named several not too long ago. All the crap that they're doing over there, the wicked ass mess that they're doing, man. It says, but I will save them out of all their dwelling places wherein they have sinned, and will cleanse them. So shall they be my people, and I will be their power. And they're not cleansed. Those people are wicked as hell to this very day. You know what I'm saying? None of these things line up with them. Verse 24, it says the Davidic kingdom in the heading. It says, and David, my servant, shall be king over them. Boom. Hello. Where's King David? And they shall have one shepherd. Where's Yahushua, man? They shall also walk in my judgments and observe my statutes and do them. They don't do nothing that the Lord says. They do everything opposite, wearing them little beanies, them little hats, covering their crown when the Lord says, uncover your crown. Again, everything that they do is opposite, is wicked, man. You know what I'm saying? So they don't line up with Ezekiel 37, which we're in the time of Ezekiel 37 right now. That's happening. This gathering is happening of the true people. So they don't line up with it, which is just another scripture proving that they're not the people, man. And this is not the kingdom of heaven, because that's also going into the kingdom of heaven on earth, man. They don't line up with that. As a matter of fact, let's get another one pertaining to that. This is Isaiah chapter 11. And I'll start at verse 6 and read down a few verses. This is Isaiah 11 and 6. It says, the wolf also shall dwell with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the kid, and the calf and the young lion and the fatling together, and a little child shall lead them. Right now, animals are devouring, the predators are devouring the prey, man. You put these together now, and it's gonna be over with. You know what I'm saying? One's gonna become the other's lunch, dinner, supper. Whatever you want to call it. So this is not in effect, bro. It says, and a little child shall lead them, which is going to keep going. Let's go. Verse 7, it says, and the cow and the bear shall feed their young ones, shall lie down together. And right now, a bear would devour a cow, man. Be a good meal for him. So this is not happening. They're going to lie down together. These meat eaters are going to become grass fed. They're going to become grass eaters. It says, and the lion shall eat straw like the ox. There it is. And the suckling child shall play on the hold of asps, which is a baby, that's going to play over the hole of a poisonous snake, man. A snake will bite the shit out of a child right now and put him to death, poison the shit out of him, man. This is not happening, bro. So we're not in these times yet. These are not the people, man. If they were, we would be in these times. We'd be in the kingdom of heaven. And you can't, come on, man. C-19 in the kingdom of heaven, with all kind of disease and jacked up food, poison air, poison water. No, bro. GMO foods. Come on, bro. No. Not in the kingdom of heaven, brother. All these things prove that they're not the people, man. And this is not the kingdom. It says, verse 8, and the suckling child shall play on the hole of the asp, and the weaned child shall put his hand on the cockatrice den. So yeah, just poisonous snakes, man. Verse 9, it says they shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain. That's all that's happening here is hurt, destruction, total opposite of what we're reading, you know, is what's happening here, man. So this is not the kingdom and they're not the people. If they were the people, this would be the kingdom. It says, for the earth shall be full of the knowledge of the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, which is not, you know, the only ones that have the knowledge is the remnant, man, the elect, the 1/3, man, you know, everybody else is through, but the whole earth is going to be full of the knowledge of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. That's when Matthew 6:10 is going to come into play. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. You know, that knowledge is going to be going throughout the earth. You know, Isaiah 2 goes into it. The law is going forth out of Zion. Micah 4 goes into it. The law is going forth out of Zion, which that's not happening in the land, man. You know, that's going to be the centerpiece, the hub, and the laws are going to go forth out of Israel when the righteous, true people get put in the land. The Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians of Negro descent, man. Of course, the scattered seed. That's when these things are going to come into play and come to pass, man. You know, and it says, as the waters cover the sea. So yeah, you know, Matthew 6:10, thy will be done as it is in heaven, man. You know what I'm saying? The will of the Lord, perfect order and righteousness in the heavens, that's going to be established in the earth by way of the rod. You know, that's, you know, Psalms 2, Revelations 2, you know what I'm saying, which is going to be shared with his elect, pursuant to Romans the 8th chapter, you know what I'm saying, and joint heirs. So Lord willing, I can be a part of that. But these are the prophecies that if they were the people would be in effect as we speak. You know what I'm saying? They don't line up with these things because they're not the people. But I got one real quick that they do line up with. So I'm going to end the lesson on that. Let's go back to Ezekiel, the 36th chapter, which is the chapter previous to the one we just read, Ezekiel 37. And I'm going to read verse 2, and then I'm going to jump down to verse 5 and conclude this lesson. This is Ezekiel 36:2, and it reads, thus saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushua power, because the enemy hath said against you, aha, which they say to this very day, proving who they are. And Eddie Murphy shows you that in that Coming to America movie when he plays the little Jewish guy. Aha, you know. So it says, even the ancient high places are ours in possession. So they're bragging about it, you know, taking your heritage, you know, taking your land. You know what I'm saying? These are the ancient high places, you know. So they've taken these things into their possession, you know, and they're happy about it, you know, bragging about it, you know. Jeremiah 17:4 said we were going to discontinue from our heritage that the Lord gave to us, and we were going to go into a land upon a people that we knew not. And when you go into curses, it said we were going to serve other gods, which neither us or our forefathers knew, man. Even wood and stone. And that's what's happening, man. You know, Jake is in wood and stone. That's the primary two religions Jake is in, which is Islam and Christianity, man. You know what I'm saying? Which proves these prophecies to be faithful and true, man. Like the scriptures say, the Lord is faithful and true. His word is faithful and true, man. These are his words. They're not going to come back void. He's not a man that he can lie, man. You know what I'm saying? So all these things are happening. And those that are yet, that are going to, you know, like it says in Habakkuk, though they tarry, wait for them, they will surely come. They will not tarry. You know what I'm saying? Everything is going to happen, man. You know, but these things prove that these are not the people. So I'm going to jump down to verse 5, and it reads, therefore, thus saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushua power, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen. So he's calling these people heathen. Pay attention right here. And against all Idumea, heathen. Idumea is a Greek term for Edom, man. You know, which Edom, Esau, Mount Seir, all are synonymous. They're all the same, talking about the same people, man. You know, Esau is Edom. Genesis 36:8, you can read it. And they dwelt in Mount Seir, man. You know, they're all synonymous. So it says, this is a Greek term for Edom. These are the Edomites. Who has the land today? Exactly. Idumeans, the Edomites, proving exactly who they are. So all these cats out here tripping out, and they can't get that the fact that the Esau is the so-called the so-called white man is Edom. Then, hey, bro, you just bugged out and through, man. It says, which have appointed my land into their possession. There it is, right there. That's who has the lands, the Idumeans, the Edomites, man. It shows you who Esau is. With the joy of all their heart, with despiteful minds to cast it out for a prey. And that's why they're over there fighting over it as we speak. But the land don't belong to any of them. Soon, and very soon, the true people are going to get put in that land, and all of them over there fighting over the land, casting it out for prey is gonna be taken out of that land, man. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, hey, that's what's going on, man. They don't line up with these prophecies, man. So I just wanted to do that quick hit. Hopefully it was edifying to the hopeful elect. Giving all praises, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Baruch HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles, the elder bishops, and the elders of the great millstone. And peace and blessings to the elect, the house of David, the Bayath, Shah Dawadah, Shalom.